Welcome to Empowering Words with Earnest B. I'm sitting here in this set, this amazing set with my friend, my lover, my wife for the last 22 years, Lady Cicely Morgan, the lady, the mother, the mother of my kids, the first lady of our amazing church, the Empowerment Church, Texas. We sitting here just thinking, just chopping it up, thinking about all the stuff we've been through, how God then brought us from behind the scenes to got us on the forefront of what He's gonna do in a generation. I believe personally that God have placed us in your life. If you're viewing this amazing broadcast today, you can be empowered by the words that come out of me and this woman's mouth and from our heart. I just want to think about my amazing kids. I got two wonderful kids, and we're in a great season. My daughter is getting ready to graduate high school in June right here in Frisco, Texas. And we're getting ready to be empty nesters. My son ain't leaving, he said. My daughter ain't going nowhere. But anyway, by law, my son's second year in college and my daughter's going to be out of high school. We had a great time in our life, but it ain't always been so great. I mean, where I started at, I want to share, you may be watching me and you see me throughout the business world. You may see me preach. You may see me in different places. You see this smile and this bald head, but you don't know my story. And I just want to share just a little bit of who I am so you'll know me more personal. I love people. That's my calling. My calling is to impact and empower anybody that's in my circle. Yes. I believe if you're in a relationship, you should bring something to the table. Yes, you should bring something to the table, and you got something to offer. That marriage you in, that your kids, the business that you've trying to form, and the place you work, and wherever you decided to call your place of business, it's a special time. So I'm just grateful for you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for hanging out with me. Yeah. Oh, I left you hanging. Boom.
Yes, you did.
I left her hanging. I'm sorry to leave this girl hanging. 13 years old. I was raised when I was coming up in Mississippi. My life started out, just say a small challenge, because I was raised by two of the greatest people in the world. My mama, my mom and my dad in Mississippi. My mom, Melissa and Wilburn Strong. My parents, I'm the fifth son of five boys. I'm the oldest son. But God always have given me a certain heart for people. I believe that what my blessing and my calling into this world is to infiltrate any environment that I'm in with the spirit of love and try to unify a situation to bring races together. I'm called to people, not black, white.
That's right.
I'm called to people. I can adapt to any climate. Poor people, rich people, middle class people, people with no education, people with doctorate degrees. I've been called to people, and I'm not impressed by none of them. I love all of them. I don't care where you started. You don't have to finish there. You don't have to finish in a place that you think was over. And you may have started with a lot and end up with nothing, or you may end up started with nothing and end up with a lot. You don't have to be frustrated in this season. But me and this woman have a long story, but my personal story is my parents were addicted to crack cocaine. Mom and dad both was addicted to cocaine. All of my life, my parents had some type of a challenge. Great people with a challenge. You can be great, yet still have a challenge. The Bible said Naaman was a leper. He was a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper. He was dealing with personal issues. So my parents were drug addicts, and it ended up, my environment where I started at caused me to start selling cocaine at 13 years old. From 13 to 15, I was in some type of drug, alcohol, or some kind of trouble. Age of 15, got into a fight with a gentleman, got stabbed 5 times with a boot knife. At 15 years old in Mississippi, stabbed twice in my neck, in my head, cut me right by my lung, cut my elbow open. And that was at the age of 15, and I didn't know that God allowed it. He allowed it.
Yes, He did.
The Bible said the thief come to steal, kill, and destroy, but He said He come that you would have life and have it more abundantly. That's what the Bible said, right?
That's what it says.
And so at 15 years old, I'm just out of my head. Spirit of anger, spirit of rebellion, I'm mad at mama and them, my parents, because they had drug problems. I'm looking at my environment. We poor in Mississippi. You know, you living in life that grew up in an apartment complex and great people. Man, I'm telling you, the best people in the world in Mississippi.
That's right.
That's where I'm from. Listen,
The SIP.
the SIP, right?
That's it.
The best people in the world in Mississippi. I tell you, God have always given me favor. But I had my environment. It bothered me because me and my wife both was raised in this same apartment complex. All of our life, we was raised where we seen the best of people just living with issues. Issues are drugs, alcohol, having identity crisis, having single parent homes.
That's right.
You know, welfare and all the things that go with being a victim. Yet great people, just a wrong environment, right?
Environment.
And so at 15 years old, I've been around drugs. My parents is into drugs. I got little brothers and everybody around me talking one language. Got stabbed 5 times. In my neck area, I end up developing aneurysm, end up developing on my neck at 15 years old. I'm in Mississippi. At this time, you know, the technology in northern Mississippi wasn't as effective like it is in southern Mississippi.
That's right.
In the Jackson area.
Right.
So I end up going from the Tupelo Hospital. This in 1991.
Yes.
1991. I go from Tupelo Hospital to Jackson in an ambulance. You know, they didn't fly me in no jet. I had to ride a long ride. My grandmother, a little short, 5-foot praying missionary.
Yes.
She spoke faith into me and spoke life. And my grandmother is in heaven with Jesus now, but she didn't leave a whole lot in terms of material stuff. But the one thing she gave me is the ability to talk to people.
Yes.
The ability to reach people. The ability to meet anybody at any time, regardless of your background.
That's right.
And be able to adapt to the climate. Mm-hmm. I've been given that gift. That's my gift, to connect to people. That's this woman's gift. Man, we come from the same, 2 different mamas, one God, but the same purpose.
That's right.
Yeah, we come from the same place. But 15 years old, got stabbed 5 times, ended up getting out the hospital and just went crazy. I went into a rage where my grandfather died and left me. My grandfather died, left my grandmother different type of weapons. We in the South, so we was deer hunting or rabbit hunting or some kind of hunt. But my grandmother gave me this 16 gauge automatic shotgun, and I end up going crazy where I get into fights with people. I get a gun and I was shooting parks and stuff with kids. And I'm looking at today what's happening with guns. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at how the world have been affected, schools and churches and public arenas being affected by violence.
Right.
Yet in Mississippi in the 90s, this guy you see always smiling all around. People see me doing, whether I'm cooking food or I'm preaching or I'm doing something, they said Earnest is a smiling guy. They don't know I didn't start there. I didn't start where I am right now. It took a God to come in my heart. Any man be in Christ.
He is a new creator.
He a new creator, right?
That's right.
He said old things have passed away. And all things become new.
That's right.
So God took me and this woman and he allowed me to go through some seasons. But at 15, I started drive-by shooting. I started not just drive-by, I'm running by. I was coming down the road shooting guns and people thought I was crazy. And I really had a bad spirit. I had a lunatic spirit from 15 to 17 where I started actually being involved with this woman more personal. At 17 years old, 11th grade in high school, Amer High School Panthers.
Go Panthers.
Amer High School Panthers. We started going together. And how did I know that we would get more into drugs and the casinos and clubs and more involved with not just unprotected sex, but we wasn't even married having sex, right?
Right.
But we didn't know they call it in Mississippi. Now you can't probably find this word, but the word was shacking. Mm-hmm. We was shacking. Old folks say if you're gonna have sex with a woman, you should be married. But for 2 years, we on this escapade. We on this 2-year going crazy, clubbing and drugging and all the stuff we did. And now I had this over my head all of my life. 13 years old, I started selling cocaine. My mom and dad. So when I go home, I would see, we was in this little small, they call it shotgun house, little wood frame house. Probably wasn't valued at $10,000, the whole house. But it wasn't the house, it was what was in the house had the value.
That's right.
Every brother I got, listen, I'm the oldest, and I got all these baby brothers, and all of my brothers, every brother I have, got purpose in their life.
Right. That's
and
right.
my mama got purpose, my father got purpose, but we got problems. That'll preach, right? Purpose with problems. That'll preach. Purpose with problems. We got problems. We got purpose. We're in this small house. I was in a small place with a big vision.
With a big vision.
Huh?
With a big vision.
Big vision. In a small place in Mississippi where they #1 in poverty and #1 in obesity.
Yes.
Yet in the mixture of a bad place, he said, can anything good
come out of Nazareth?
Come out of Nazareth. That's what Jesus came. Listen, he came to his own, but his own received him
God.
not.
Thank you, Lord.
But as many as received him,
he gave the power.
he gave him the power. Man, we come up out of that thing. But at 17 years old, we started doing all our stuff. And for 2 years, we went on this place where we would just, frustrate our parents. And, my mom was on drugs. I got the most respect. My mom is an amazing person, but my mother-in-law, me and her had a very unique situation because she was so protective of her daughter, and I just didn't see I was headed nowhere. I really didn't. But Jesus, we used to sing a song at Carter's Chapel. My Bishop G.T. Howe, George Thomas Howe, right there in Amory, Mississippi, he pastored a church called Carter's Chapel Faith Temple.
Church of the Living
Church
God.
of the Living God, the pillar and the ground of the truth. Yeah, that's what we started at. See, you got to know where you started, then you'll know where you're headed.
That's right.
So we was going there, and the choir used to sing this song. If you have to reach way down, Jesus will pick you up.
Yes,
well,
he will.
I tell you what, he had to come get me because I was a thug. I wasn't going nowhere. At 19 years old, from 17 to 19, I ended up, into the streets. Right before I left high school, I wanted to quit because I didn't feel like I was headed nowhere with my life. I just didn't feel like nothing was going well. I don't have nothing that remind me of success. Only my grandmother. My grandmother had she epitomized faith.
Yes.
I mean, she just was the sprint of faith, and she just spoke over our family. My mom on drugs, I'm on drugs. My brothers, they young guys, but they seeing crack being dealt. We in the hood. We living a life. I don't even want to be in high school. I don't even want to do my work. All I want to do is do what I saw. But my high school football coach, Bobby Hall, wherever he's at today, I just thank God for him. But he said, Ernest Morgan, he said, your attitude is going to take you a long way in life. Yeah. He said, your attitude.
Yeah.
Now, look, I didn't have much going for me. I really did. If you look at where I started, we had no money. We come out of the projects. We come out of subsidized housing, and we was on welfare, and we was trying to fare well, but we was on welfare.
Yeah.
We getting all the government assistance.
Yes.
My mom didn't really at the time didn't have a job, but she had a purpose still. In the mixed up, that's what I want to tell somebody. You may be in a place.
That's right.
Where nothing is going right for you. But the Bible said, despise not the days
of small beginnings.
That's what he said, lady.
Despise
not the days of small beginnings. My mom and dad and all the stuff that happens. Listen, we was going through that, and we coming through it even today.
Yes.
Today, this very day.
Woo, yes,
this
God.
very
Thank
day.
you, Lord.
April
27.
The 27th, 2018.
Yes.
We still waiting on the promise of God.
Yes.
We're seeing God manifest. I live in Frisco, which is a suburb of Dallas.
That's
it's
right.
a high-end area. And I wonder sometimes, how did a guy from Mississippi, from a little small place, get to a place like this where the economy is going well, things are going amazing. The income level is crazy. The educational level is crazy. This whole environment is crazy. But I just realized that God brought a guy like me to a place like this.
That's right.
To reach people like you.
That's right.
God, he'll use anybody.
Yes,
so
he
God
will.
brought me to this area because even though we got all going for us, sometimes people they're not as gracious as they should be.
Should be.
Because of you don't realize how good you got it
That's
until you
right.
ain't got it no more.
That's right.
But at 19 years old, Bobby Hall, before I left high school, he told me my attitude would take me a long way in life. So life happened. Life happened, and when life happens, people sometimes can stand through storms, they can stand through tests, and sometimes they can't stand at all.
That's right.
Bible said, having done all to stand, he said,
therefore.
stand therefore. That's what the Bible said. But at 19 years old, I felt like I was going to hell or jail. Because I'm selling cocaine. Okay, I just basically quit school. I quit on life. And the way I felt and what I'm doing now, I couldn't even imagine 22 years ago.
That's right.
I would be living the life I'm living with, a wonderful wife, amazing kids, amazing church, amazing friends.
That's right.
And I don't take nothing for granted through all he brought me through. David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. He said, I ain't going to feel no evil.
No evil.
For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And I believe that you're the person I'm looking for, me and this woman. I'm telling a small, brief testimony, but 19 years old, I get saved. Went to the church one night, gave my life to God because I felt all of my upbringing, it was headed into a dead end. And some on the inside of me wanted to change.
That's right.
Just like that thing that's pushing you.
On the inside of
On the inside of you want to change. Me and this girl was together from 11th grade. But at 19, I tell her, I said, listen, I'm giving my life to the Lord. I feel like God is calling me. I feel as if I don't give my life to God, then the devil gonna take me out. I'm already shooting at people. I'm already fighting people. I'm throwing people through windows. I'm doing dope. I'm selling dope. I'm doing dope and selling dope. And I'm not going nowhere with my life. And I said, if you want to remain in relationship with me, because she always trusted me. I remember one time I got into it with a guy, and you took the gun out my hand. I was finna shoot a guy.
Yeah.
And I was into it with a guy, and you jumped the gun. You and your cousin Lisa, y'all jumped the gun out my hand and kept it. Had I shot the gentleman, I'd have been in prison today. It wouldn't be no marriage or no nothing.
No, nothing.
I'd have had a show up prison ministry.
Yes, you would.
But I thank God that
Thank
he saved
God.
me. Grace
Yes,
override.
He did. Yes, he did.
Paul asked the question, shall we continue in sin
That
grace may abound? He said, God forbid. But we got married at 19 years old and went from there. We've owned so many things together as a couple. We've accomplished so many great things. I mean, from starting our first business, I had a landscape service. I still believe I'm the greatest landscaper in Mississippi, but that's another story. It wasn't my call. It was just something that God had gave me in that time to do.
That's right.
And we ended up, not only that, we thought we wanted to be into doing hair and stuff. We entered into cosmetology and barber school, ended up owning a shop, ended up doing that for a season. That still wasn't the call. Ended up from that point, started a barbecue restaurant, but we started this business with one case of ribs.
One case.
And no bank loan.
And no bank loan.
And we grew it to 5 locations.
5.
In Mississippi. Ernest B's Barbecue.
Home of the Texas style ribs.
Home of the Texas style. You ain't had no barbecue.
Till you had Earnest B's.
You had Ernest B's. You ain't had no barbecue till you had Ernest B's. But we went through that season, and yet through all of the stuff we've been through, God's still saying, I'm not finished yet. He's faithful.
Still faithful.
The Bible said there's no test that have taken you such as common to man. And God is faithful and will not let you be tempted, tested or tried above that which you are able, but with the test, provide a way of escape that you might be able to bear it. That's what the Bible says. He'll provide a way. He'll provide a way of escape.
Yes.
I want to minister to you, me and the wife. Tell me kind of what through all these years, what have God did for you, and talk to me about that.
Oh, God's been good to me. I thank God for just how wonderful he is, because truly God is good. I think about all the things that we've been through, all the tests, all the trial, everything that God brought us through. It was him that brought us through.
Yeah, he did it.
And he brought us through because he did not want any man to get the credit. he wanted to get all the credit and all the glory. So I'm just thankful for what he has done. I'm so blessed. I'm so honored to be your wife, to be your partner. Just so thankful. Our children are blessed.
Yeah.
I thank God. My son 20 years old and my daughter's 18, and they haven't given us a minute of trouble. And I just thank God for them. They, even through our going through, they didn't complain, but they thanked God and they praised God for what we were going through.
Yeah.
And because they knew on the other side of the going through, there was going to be a blessing.
Yeah.
And I thank God that we're walking in the blessing today.
Yes.
I'm so grateful for what he has done. It could have been where God gave me a spirit of peace that I could be able to stand and go through the test. Because if I didn't have the spirit of peace, then, I would have been gone a long time ago. But God gave me that spirit of peace, the inner peace, no matter what man sees.
Yeah.
He gave me the inner peace to be able to stand.
Yeah.
And people on my job ask me, well, how have you been married so long? I tell them I've been married so long because I like my husband. I like him as a person. I enjoy his company. That's how I've been married so long. I not only am I in love with him, I like him. If I didn't like him and he wasn't my friend, we couldn't have made it because of all of the things that we've been through. But I thank God that he gave me that spirit of peace.
Yes.
That thing that's on the inside. See, when you get saved for real. See, God will do that for you. You can stand the test. See, it ain't about them red bottom shoes Cardi B talking about. Y'all know about Cardi B?
Yeah.
It ain't about them shoes she talking about.
Yeah.
It's about what God puts down on the inside of you. I thank God for how he made me the woman that I am. Because without God, I couldn't have made it. And I thank God for you being the man.
Oh, she called me the man. Lord,
the man.
The man.
I thank God for you knowing the man.
Yeah.
But you are the man.
Thank you.
And sometimes we as young women, we got to realize it ain't about the things, but it's about what God can do for you. Sometimes we marry for the things, but sometimes when the things aren't there, what are you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
When you can't go get your hair done. When I was a beautician, still got my license current. When I couldn't go to the hair supply store and buy it, I had to go to Walmart and buy a box perm.
My God, got licensed with a box perm.
Licensed with a box perm. Had to go buy one of those and put it in my own head and then share it with my daughter.
My God.
There was a time, that we couldn't do the things that we do now. But I thank God that he prepared me and he took me through that. He took me through the valley.
Yes.
Going through things sometimes don't feel good.
Nah.
And when you're a woman, you like to be pampered.
Yeah, that's right.
You like all of that, but sometimes you don't have those comforts and you have to just go through when God is on the inside of you. You can go through with no choice.
Yes.
You don't have no trouble. And I thank God that I was able to do that.
Yes.
Because that grew our relationship. When we got married, we didn't have kids. So, but my son and my daughter, they know what a hard time look like.
That's right.
So they ain't puffed up.
Yes.
They know about eating Roma noodles and Vienna sausages.
Yeah.
They know about that type of stuff. They know how, but they know how to go to the fine restaurants and eat too.
Yes.
But see, God, he know how to grow us, and we had to grow in God.
I was thinking about Jeremiah 29:11 said, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you."
That's right.
Thoughts of peace.
And not of
evil, to give you what?
An expected end.
God said he fully intends for you to get there on schedule.
That's right.
But you can't faint. Be not weary.
In well doing.
For in due season.
You will reap if you faint not.
If you faint not.
That's right.
I just want to thank my wife. Thank you for just standing with me through ups and downs. We went through a pretty bad storm in 2015.
Oh yeah, we did.
We had to relocate our family from Mississippi to Texas, and I come and I lost everything but you and the Lord and my kids, all my money, everything. But I thank God that he's a restorer. I realized that nothing that God had ordained for me wasn't tied into no things. But I wanted to seek God. The Bible says, seek the kingdom and its righteousness.
And all these things.
And everything else shall be added. I'm at the best time of my life.
That's
you know why?
right.
Because I didn't faint. I didn't quit. I realized that everything that was given to me tangible
That's right.
could be replaced.
That's right.
But the one thing I didn't want to lose, well, two things, yea, three. I didn't want to lose the Lord. Or
That's
Lord.
right.
God didn't let me go. He didn't allow me to be overtaken by the enemy. Second, my marriage, which you, my friend, my partner, my lover, and my kids. So I realized that if I had God on my side, you and the kids, Philippians 4:13 said we can do all I can do.
That's right.
All things through what?
Christ.
That strengthens me. I have recovered my mindset.
That's right.
Everything hasn't been added back yet, but by faith it's done and more than enough. Even the spare. We're in a season of rebuilding now. I went through a certain season of shame. I went through a season that I wanted to quit because I looked at all of the stuff that we had and we was trying to accomplish. God didn't permit it to make it. And I had to have faith to walk away.
Yes, and I just want to talk to some woman today. I just want to talk to you and let you know that, it's a crushing thing to be able to, you got all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then one day you don't have it.
Yeah.
My husband came to Texas and he was here 7 months without us. And the feeling of how you feel when the one you depend on is Jesus, but then your husband, who you've never been separated from in 19 years, all of a sudden he's not there. That for people that's got a loved one or your husband that's in prison, you can make it. For the one that you don't know how you gonna make it, God is the one that's gonna take you through it.
Yeah.
If you allow him to take you through it. Because see, you gotta know that it's not about you anymore. When it get to that point, it's not about you. It's all about Jesus. That's when you gotta fall down on your knees and begin to seek God for wisdom and knowledge and understanding of what he's taking you through, because he's taking you to a place, from a place to a place. And if you stay on the right road and you stay in the arms of Jesus, he will bring you out and you'll be all right. But you got to know that God is in control, and he wouldn't put no more on you than you can bear. So just trust and know that God is going to bring you through whatever your situation is. I don't know what your situation might be, but I do know the one that can bring you through your situation. I do know the God that can change every situation. He can turn it around. He can turn you in the right direction if you allow him to turn you in the right direction. I want you to believe and know that God can do it. Not just women, men. Because there's some men that's single fathers. Yes. There's some men that's wives are in prison. We don't single out just the women. I'm talking to everybody. You got to stand firm and know that God is going to bring you out, that everything is going to be all right. Yes. If you just trust and believe that he will do it. Yes. He's going to do it for you. He has a plan for you. It's going to bring you to that expected end if you just trust and believe in what he's going to do.
You heard it from the mouth of Lady Cicely Morgan, the Empowerment Church. I thank you for just viewing, just tuning in this moment of your time, giving us as a couple that we together can be a witness for Jesus.
That's right.
You listening to the Empowering Faith broadcast, the Empowering Words by Earnest B. God bless you. I want to pray. Father, we thank you now for these great people, all the people that have tuned in. I ask you, God, now to get the glory out of everything that's been said today. I pray in the name of Jesus to marriages. I pray for marriages. I pray for kids. I pray for businesses. I pray for couples and ministries that's going through turbulent times, going through times of challenge. Lord, I pray because you said in the word in Philippians 4:13, we can do all things through Christ. You said the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So I speak to you and let you know you can make it, and just know you can recover from afar. God bless you.